Today, we're going to perform a paired t-test to determine the answer to the following research question. Is there a significant difference when bowling students receive a 15-minute coaching session from an expert after being observed for a game? So what they've done is they have bowled for game one, and that bowling expert has observed them. And then they're going to receive a 15-minute coaching session, and then they have bowled game two. So we need to determine if there's a significant difference in this type of coaching session. So in order to do that, we have to first determine if there is normality for game one and game two. So in order to do that, we first have to calculate the percent change between these two variables. So we're going to go up to transform, compute variable, and our target variable is just going to be difference. And we're going to find that difference from game two and subtract game one. Now we're going to hit OK. So there we have our new variable, and our change here is the difference. We need to see if this has a normal curve. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies. Now we're just going to click on the difference, move that variable over, go ahead and click on not statistics, go back to charts, hit histograms, and we want that normal curve on that histogram, and hit continue. Now that data runs, we do have an N value of 20 students. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to scroll down, and here we have our histogram. As you can see, our histogram, I would say, does not pass the normality curve here. However, due to the assignment, we're going to go ahead and assume that the assumptions have been met and perform that t-test either way. So now I'm going to go up to Analyze, go to Compare Means, and we're going to do the paired samples t-test. Now, we're doing the t-test between game one and game two. So we're going to move both of those variables over. We do want the effect sizes in our statistics. So we're going to hit OK. And here we have all of our statistical data. So when looking at this, we have game one, the mean was 90. So this was before the coaching session has started. Then we have game two, and that mean is almost 95. It's 94.95, almost 95. So right off the bat, I can see there's not a huge difference in the mean between game one and game two. I'm also looking at the standard deviation, and the deviation is already at a 13.5. And then looking at game two, it's at a 14.3. So there's not a huge difference in the standard deviation from game one to game two. When looking at the correlation, we have a correlation of 0.556 or 0.56, and that correlation is about a medium correlation. So then when we looked at the paired samples test and we really go down and we look at our p-value, we can automatically see here that our p-value is 0.108, which is more than 0.05. So that tells us that we would fail to reject the null hypothesis, meaning that there is no significant difference when having that coaching session. So again, we have that t value of this negative 1.685. We have a degrees of freedom of 19. Our one-sided p is 0.054, and our p-value two-sided here is a 0.108 of that significance. So again, because it's greater than 0.05, we would fail to reject the null hypothesis. And since we're rejecting that null hypothesis, even our Cohen's d effect size reflects that rejection of the null hypothesis. So in APA style, I would say that we would fail to reject the null hypothesis since our p-value is greater than 0.05. Now, what that means is for the students, they had a mean of 90, then they had a mean of 95. So the implication could be, while as a teacher or as a coach, sure, there's not a significantly difference. There is some improvement when given that 15-minute coaching session. So I guess it all depends upon students and coaching and funding. If the data, even though the data is saying no, it doesn't make a statistically significant difference. However, it did make a small, very small or medium effect size. There's still some improvement. So that would be up to that school district if they wanted to continue that effective coaching. Me personally, me being a huge data person, if the data is saying no, it is not statistically significant, then I would not move forward with that effective coaching. Again, that's just my own opinion.